reports coming out that Terence Crawford could wind up on PBC and the Shawn Porter fight maybe happens. We're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest. Listen, my name is Ego. This is your one-stop shop for all your boxing needs. Please hit the like button. It goes a long way. Boom. Reports just in that Terence Crawford may consider Premier Boxing Champs PBC as his home. Link in the description. You see it on the screen. Says insiders telling me the expectation is Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter winds up being won as a purse bid by Premier Boxing Champs, PBC, the likely future home for Crawford because the fighters there, including Errol Spence, are more tantalizing. Now, this doesn't declare where this information is coming from. You know, people, most of the time, they're not going to give up their sources. So I don't know the accuracy. I wasn't specifically told this information, but this is a boxing reporter, and he says that the options are more tantalizing. And Paco, he is the president of the WBO, the sanctioning body where Terence Crawford has his only belt at the welterweight division. It says, quote, "I'm sure Crawford Porter will happen too because I've been working underground. Sometimes you can't work publicly, you work behind the scenes to get the result. It's one of the best fights we can have now. Everybody wants to see this fight." So I agree. It's an awesome fight if they can get it done. So I'll put the link in the description. It says Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter, a rare instance where mandatory bouts help. Right? So make sure you guys check out that article. Listen, Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford's a good fight. Shawn Porter is a two-time welterweight champion, former champion, and he's faced the best: Kell Brook, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. Those are the other best fighters. The only person missing in that entourage that eludes him is the one guy that chose to not sign to the place that had all the other welterweights, which is Terence Crawford. Now with him entering possibly free agency, maybe this frees him up. The ironic thing is this: whatever, like this, if listen, I'm not trying to belabor the point, if you will. If Crawford does go to Premier Boxing Champs, as I've long stated, that looks like the best option for him. If you are a crack addict, where do you go? You go to parts of the city where they have drugs. You go to the trap house. You know what I mean? If you're looking for, back in the day, you're looking for music, you go to the record store. You go to a place to sell CDs, right? If you're looking for a movie, back in the day, you went to Blockbuster. Now you go to Netflix. I mean, this is just common sense, 2 + 2 = 4 type of stuff. Terence Crawford wants the best fights, he says. And if your people, your team cannot facilitate those where you are, then the natural progression would be now, because he's already been here before where he had an opportunity to leave Top Rank and he resigned to them, to the dismay of many boxing fans. So I get it, Crawford's headstrong, he's stubborn, but this is about improving your career, your quality of life. And then right here, like, here's a funny picture. This is a PBC fighter that's cool with a lot of Crawford's people, trains with K. Karama, and obviously was working out with Terence Crawford. So you can ask him, like, you know, what his experience is like, things like that, being signed to PBC. And maybe that's what he's done. I don't know. But the fight with Shawn Porter is a tantalizing fight. I think it's a good fight. People have wanted to see it. People have talked about this for quite some time at this point. There's been some back and forth. At one point, it didn't look like, early on, it didn't look like the two would fight. They were both publicly saying, like, hey, we're friends, and I've known him since the amateurs, and he's a cool guy, and I have to talk to, I remember Shawn Porter was saying stuff like that. I got to talk to him first to see what he thinks, and then they had a conversation and stuff like that. But somewhere along the line, you know, the nature of the beast, the nature of the business, I think, I don't know how close they are, so I can't really speak on that, but I think things were said from Team Crawford, maybe Kenny Porter, and Team Porter as well. And at the end of the day, it seems like they're down to fight each other now. So we'll see. We'll see if these headlines turn out. I guess bottom line is Crawford has a lot of people wondering his next move, because you have to look at the other thing. The options with Top Rank, especially if he doesn't re-sign or something, is at best Josh Taylor. But in the here and now, they're talking about making fights with Jose Ramirez, who just lost to Josh Taylor at 140. Jose Zepeda, who, in my opinion, should have lost to Hammer and Hank Lundy, a guy that Terence Crawford had beaten already years ago. So that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound appetizing. Meanwhile, Errol Spence and Pacquiao, two guys that Terence Crawford said he wanted to fight, are, guess what, fighting each other. So that's a huge L, and I don't know if that's the straw that broke the camel's back, because Crawford's team, I mean, I could pull it up for you guys if you don't believe me, but Crawford's team has long stated that they were going to get the Pacquiao fight. They've said it, really for years. For the last 8 years, his name has been tethered to it, but in the more recent last 2 years or so, they've said that he was going to fight in Abu Dhabi, fight Pacquiao in Qatar, but something keeps coming up. Last year, they said, it's the pandemic, so now we couldn't make the fight because the CDC or, somebody who didn't approve it for health concerns. Then they strung Crawford along in the, after the pandemic, we're still in it, but after the pandemic calmed down and the vaccination came out and you started to see live events, you started seeing more of the same stuff. Like, hey, we want to fight Pacquiao. Oh, give us a week. And then time kept passing. And then Bob Arum finally does an interview, says the fight's dead in the water because the money was not sent. The proof of funds were never shown or whatever. Meanwhile, Crawford is not getting any younger, so he might as well fight guys like Shawn Porter. Because Errol Spence, let's be honest, if Errol Spence beats Pacquiao bad, that might be his last fight. You know what I mean? So Pacquiao, unless he wins, that's probably a guy that we won't really need to see Terence Crawford fight, depending on what happens in this Errol Spence fight. So, like I said, Crawford's not getting any younger, and Porter is as durable as they come. He's experienced. He has a style that could complicate things. Terence Crawford's a beast of a fighter. So, like I always say, LSI, let's see it. Use my link in the description to get TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an awesome browser extension to help you level up your YouTube content. Make some money on this platform if you're going to be uploading. You could do that with TubeBuddy. Get your content right so more people could see it. And let me know what you guys think of this video. Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford. I've been here before, so I'm not going to get too psyched out and too hyped up. We'll see. We'll see what Terence Crawford decides to do. A lot of this, I don't trust a lot of stuff, because Crawford's one of those people where you want to hear from him and not just miscellaneous reporters, because he doesn't necessarily give interviews to just anybody and frequently and things like that. So I don't know where some of these reporters are getting their information from. So me personally, I'd like to hear if he's going to sign to PBC or do a deal with him, or the Porter fight's going to happen. I really want to hear from him so I could be certain, especially in these current times. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins? Shawn Porter? Some people think he gets blown out. Shawn Porter. Some people think Shawn Porter has a chance. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.